Hey everybody, how's it going? It's your daily report with your friend Angry Tim. For the last few years, we've been hearing nothing about the rising costs of rent, the rising cost of housing prices, the rising cost of everything, food, car insurance. Um, I don't know if this is a bright spot. It could be good or bad, but we're starting to see a turnaround in the rents. So things are getting a little cheaper, but that could also signal, maybe something even worse is coming. This is out of Zero Hedge, but this is talking about the Texas housing market. If you moved there from maybe California or another state recently, maybe you know firsthand how high the prices were maybe a year or two ago, and how the prices have been coming down, or if you notice a lot more vacancies, or even just empty like foreclosures, empty homes, and things like that. So here, they're talking about the Texas rental market collapse. It looks like it's worse. The worst part of it is in Austin, experiencing a significant decline. The rent has dropped over 15% in the last 2 years. Vacancy rates went from 3.9% in September 2021 to 9.5% currently. So that's more than double. Um, Supply and demand. The market is being affected by a surge in housing supply and reduced demand post pandemic. So, just like we talked about in the earlier video about all that kind of that fake economy, all the stimulus money during the pandemic, how the savings rate went straight up and then it collapsed and then now it's in negative territory. So, we're now entering kind of the reality phase where people can't really afford all these things. They couldn't afford all the higher rents, all the the higher priced cars and luxuries and travel. So the demand is going down. It talks about the landlords facing increased expenses with property taxes and insurance costs rising while rents are decreasing. Wow, that's a really bad place to be. Imagine if you'd bought an apartment building or a house planning to rent it out and prices were going up. Um, so you thought, okay, I'm getting good appreciation on my apartment building or a home you bought, and rents were going up. So everything was looking great on paper, and you probably maybe got a low mortgage back then too. But now your cost of insurance has gone up. Your cost of everything, maintenance has gone up, and also the rent is declining, or you can't even rent it out. So that really puts you underwater. And if you had to refinance for some reason, you need to pull out equity or anything. I mean, not rents, but the mortgage rates are much higher than before. You're probably gonna be paying over 7% today if you had to refinance or try and get an equity loan or something on your property just to stay afloat. So that's pretty tough. The future outlook, the affordability for renters is expected to increase as construction projects continue and more units become available. So you hear a lot about there's not enough supply of housing, or now they're kind of saying there's an oversupply of housing causing the demand to go down. Um, it's probably somewhere in between. I think there's not enough affordable housing. There might be enough houses out there, but no one can afford them. But as far as low cost, affordable housing, um, there's not enough of that. And I don't even know if it's possible with, government regulations, the cost of insurance, the cost of labor, with this high inflation, if it's even possible to make affordable housing today. So we might have to wait for economic conditions to change before that becomes possible. So the property taxes, insurance costs, the decreasing rental prices, the drop in demand are forcing a lot of landlords to reduce rents to attract tenants. Also, economic shifts. The tech industry layoffs and return to work office work has also contributed to the reduced demand for housing in Texas. So it's probably going to spread to other parts of the country, not just Texas. Here in Nevada, we haven't noticed a whole bunch of difference, but I know that they're building like crazy. So it might take a little while for Nevada to catch up with Texas with the amount of apartment buildings going up. But a lot of these projects started years ago when when things were still looking good. The prices, of apartments, houses were going up. The rent was going up. Is when they actually started a lot of these projects. So now that they're coming to completion, this is probably not what they calculated with, rents going down, demand going down, the cost of their taxes and insurance going up. So I don't know how these new apartment buildings are gonna, how they're gonna be able to, they might go bankrupt relatively quickly, or the owners might try and sell it just to get out of it and cut their losses. So that's something kind of interesting to see if things are turning around and prices are kind of cooling off in the housing area, because that's kind of the last place we're seeing it. Everything else has kind of started to come down. The RV market is collapsing. Again, new cars, used cars, a lot of things are getting a lot cheaper, but the rent and the price of buying a house, that was kind of it was just stuck high. So we're starting to see that come down. Hopefully you're not caught in a situation where you bought something just recently and you were trying to rent it out and the market has turned on you. Um, I know there are a lot of creative ways to get out of that situation or help reduce your losses, but today's just a quick update on the rental housing market in Texas. And I'll have more for you later. Your friend, Angry Tim.